This enigmatic civilization is said to have existed over 1 million years ago, created by beings who were part human and part god. They constructed a vast city-state on an island, connected by canals, boasting a powerful navy and even flying ships powered by liquid fuel. But wait, these tales seem to originate from various sources, right? Exactly. The first written account of the Atlantis myth comes from the Athenian philosopher Plato, 427 to 437 BC. In his dialogues, Plato depicted the creators of Atlantis as beings who were half human and half god, residing on islands connected by canals. The idea of Atlantis having flying ships was introduced by William Scott Elliot in 1909. By that time, the Wright brothers had already flown the first airplane, the Flyer, in 1903. Scott Elliot claimed to have witnessed visions of Atlantises passed through psychic abilities, referring to them as astral prophecies. Many shows have debunked the idea of Atlantis, arguing that Plato couldn't have known about liquid fuel analyzers and suggesting his account was purely imaginative. However, both of these viewpoints are flawed. There's been a mix-up in the timeline by over 2,000 years. Plato said Atlantis existed around 9,000 years before his time, and its story had been passed down by poets, priests, and others. He also mentioned he heard about it from others, so there's no way Plato could have seen Atlantis himself. According to him, Atlantis was destroyed after a failed expedition against ancient Athens, losing the gods' favor and sinking into the sea. This map shows the mainstream theories about its possible locations. Isn't there a theory that a volcanic eruption caused Atlantis to sink? Yes, but from earlier descriptions, don't you notice something off? Plato claimed this happened over 11,000 years ago, yet he also mentioned an expedition against Athens, which is only about 3,400 years old. So this doesn't add up. Additionally, the accounts of Atlantis appear in Plato's discussions on the ideal state, leading many scholars to believe the story is an allegory illustrating how a highly developed civilization can easily fall from grace. An advanced ancient civilization destroyed by a volcanic eruption, with the entire realm sinking into the sea. Therefore, it is possible that Atlantis never existed. Not necessarily. This bears a striking resemblance to the descriptions of Atlantis. This debate was only settled after numerous artifacts were unearthed. Despite this, many people still believe in Atlantis and continue to search the world's oceans for it. Good luck to them. Who knows, they might actually find something interesting, but we'll leave it here for today. Around 9,000 years ago, or over 11,000 years from today, Atlantis is said to have launched an expedition against Athens. However, this timeline doesn't align with historical records, as Athens has only existed for about 3,400 years. The myth of Atlantis took place entirely in Plato's mind. It was meant to illustrate how a highly advanced civilization could be brought down by the greed and arrogance of its people. This allegorical theme has been widely used in various literary works. A more recent and popular example is George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire, which draws on the legend of Atlantis and the fall of Rome, depicting an advanced civilization destroyed by a volcanic eruption. Was there a real Atlantis? It's not that simple. Every compelling story has some basis in reality. Some scholars believe that the tale of Atlantis might have been inspired by the fall of the Minoan civilization, which existed in the Aegean region before the Mycenaean civilization of ancient Greece. A catastrophic volcanic eruption destroyed this civilization, incinerating cities and villages with pyroclastic flows and causing tsunamis that drowned inhabitants of distant islands. There was significant academic debate about the existence of the Minoan civilization until numerous artifacts were discovered, settling the controversy. Today, the most widely accepted view is that Plato's story of Atlantis was a political allegory, drawing on various ancient legends. Good luck to them. For instance, during the search for Atlantis, some explorers have discovered intriguing underwater formations like the so-called underwater donut. But we'll leave that story for another time.